Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to have a quick look at some of the new things that are coming to Minecraft with the Caves and Cliff update, and kind of say my reaction, my thoughts on those things, my favourites, any ideas for like how they could improve these features as they develop them, not improve them but add to them, I think. The way that I would use them in my game. So yeah, if you missed the Minecraft Live update, or if you're just interested in what I have to say about it, then this video is for you. Let's hop into it. So here we go. So straight away I can see those vines there with the purple flowers on. This is the Lush Caves update. So lots and lots of new blocks here. I like those vines with the flowers. I hope that we can harvest those and they will retain the flowers and that we can use them for decorating. So we've got more vines here, hanging vines with more flowers, some grass blocks there. It looks like we've got like a grass carpet as well, tile. This block on the right here, I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to slow it down and we're going to look at it with a little bit more detail. But yeah, this is lovely. Much more interesting than the kind of basic caves that we're familiar with. So these won't be all the caves. This will be something like a new biome, a cave biome that you can stumble across. So oops, oh there we go, paused it without even meaning to. So let me just go back to the start of that. And we'll watch it kind of in slow motion. Slow motion. Here we go. There we go, we get Agnes in slow motion there as well. And why wouldn't you have Agnes in slow motion? She's beautiful. So yeah, I do hope that you can collect all these blocks quite easily in survival mode, and you can use them for decorating because I think they'll be really, really useful. So yeah, up here you can kind of see these purple flowers on this vine. Now normally the vines are kind of very, very plain. They don't have flowers on unless you get mods. So yeah, I hope we can clip these. They'll be really pretty for decorating the outside of your house. Really good for decorating purposes there. Yeah, come on, let's get down the cave. Hurry up, let's get down the cave. So yeah, so normally I think what's normally going to happen is the cave system will look quite similar to what it is now, as I understand it. But as you go through the caves, as you kind of explore, you'll stumble across these new biomes and be able to collect the new blocks and kind of see the benefits of these. So come on, let's get down there a little bit faster. I'm wondering, they must just be panning the camera down right now because they're definitely not climbing down the vine there. You would fall. Here we go. So going down into this cave. So straight away the cave looks a lot more lush, a lot more interesting than, oh, watch out for creepers falling down from up there. Yeah, so we've got these kind of like hanging vines, which again will be really pretty. I do wonder if you can climb up and down these. These grass blocks are like full grass blocks. I think they're new. We've got these kind of like, they almost look like tabletops, right? Here's one of them. It's like a little, it looks like a little branch and like a flowered tablecloth. That's what I'm going to plan on using it for. I think that's what a lot of players will use that for, is to have like something that looks like a table with a tablecloth in the homes. What else do we have here? I think this is new, this kind of hanging large tropical flower here. I'm not sure if this is a new vine or if it's the same vine. I can't quite tell. But here, yeah, it looks like a table with a tablecloth. So that would be really, really nice to have. These interesting flowers. I do wonder if you can put them on any surface or if they have to hang from the ceiling. These are new, aren't they? These funny little, like, they're almost like lily pads, but they come up. Here's one as well. These funny little plants that come up out of the ground here. So yeah, you've also got these like flat grass carpet tiles as well, which add a bit of texture and a bit of interest. So they're going to be useful as well for decorating, I think. I think this block here is just a clay block. Standard clay block. There's the plain table with the tablecloth. I don't know what it's meant to be, but I just immediately saw it as a table with a tablecloth. Yeah, so I think that is everything there is to see here. With this little biome. So I guess we might lots of nice effects here as well with the little almost like plant what would you call that, like pollen effects. It looks really, really nice. Yeah, definitely happy to have more decorating opportunities. So there we go, that's that update. So I'm just going to pause and carry on watching until we hit another update, and yeah, we'll have a chat about that. So here, Agnes is just talking about how they wanted to kind of create this feeling of being really, really small. They used that painter for inspiration. She's saying they want the place to feel really small and feel like the vegetation is up and around them. And then Brandon just starts to talk here about how the azalea tree here, the one that I said looks like a tabletop, is actually an overworld tree, the one that we saw at the top there. So it's quite recognisable. So if you see one of those azalea trees, you can go down at the root and then know that you're going to hit one of those cave systems underneath. So that's quite nice that there's a marker there. And I'm just excited to have more trees. I do wish they added more trees with more variation of leaf colour though. I'd really love some like red trees, red leaves and pink leaves, like blossom, cherry blossom, this kind of thing, maple trees. I really would love some more leaf colour variation. Minecraft, please, it's been a million years and people keep asking for this. Right, so I'm going to keep watching and listening. Okay, so here Brandon is actually just talking about one of those new plants, the one that kind of came up out of the water, a drip leaf plant. It's designed for parkour. So what it actually does is you can stand on it. He's showing you here. You can stand on it and it'll but after a moment it'll kind of tilt as a bit of a warning, and then it'll fully tilt and you'll fall off. So it means that you can do parkour, but there's a time limit on it for how long you can stand there. It kind of forces you to keep moving. So you can see here somebody doing it, and the leaves are starting to tilt, but they're not falling off straight away. But then at the end you kind of see the final tilt and they fall off. So it's a good thing for parkour to kind of keep people moving. Okay,
yeah, so as you can see here, I mean, this is
here they're showing off the cave generation. They've got a lot of algorithms for the cave generation. So here you can see kind of what would look like a normal Minecraft cave, going into an underwater cave, which came with the underwater update. But then they've got all these variations of kind of shape and size. They were talking about some caves are like Swiss cheese, some caves are like spaghetti. You have flat, long caves, and you have big open spaces. And they can generate randomly. Apparently they've got more generation than the overworld. So here you can see them kind of going into one of the larger cave spaces. So there's a lot of opportunity here for people who create maps, for as you can see here, elytra maps, interesting spaces to kind of to move through. You can also see here somebody going into a boat, so you can actually have these big open spaces, these open underwater lakes that you can kind of boat around now as well, which is very cool. It kind of creates these interesting spaces to navigate in different ways. Also, you get these naturally occurring huge underground waterfalls. So I will quickly go back to the start of that. We'll just watch it again in the normal kind of speed. My son's come to join me. He's very, very excited about the update. So Agnes was actually also talking about how the generation kind of complements each other. So they have this generation of creating different shapes and sized cave spaces, like those big open caves that we were just seeing. But she was just saying as well that the new biomes are independent to the size of the cave. So you could have a cave that was really, really big and open, like in the images here, but it's going to be full of that kind of lush vegetation of the biome that we just saw. So it'll be like a huge underwater I keep saying underwater, a huge underground lush cave system, which I think sounds amazing. They haven't shown that off yet. I don't know if they're going to do that later on, but it's interesting. You can see as well the rock generation is kind of like you have like stalactites and stalagmites coming up. You have these big supporting pillars. Yeah, really interesting. Makes moving underground, makes caving much more surprising and dynamic and interesting. So my son's bringing me my cat's little mouse here. Alright, okay, I'll be back with you in a second. So here they go and talk about another cave type. This is the Dripstone cave system. So you can see literally these stalactites are dripping water. Now you can place a cauldron under those as a way to collect water. So that's really good for survival maps and things where where water is a scarce resource. So yeah, it's a way of getting water. Also, you can see there that they can be used as traps. You can knock out the top block, perhaps with what they called a a piston. I'll pop that back on again so you can see that again. Yeah, you can knock out the top block with a piston or something similar, and set up a redstone trigger so that they fall. It'll also be really good as well as a way to keep people moving through maps. You know, if you're doing a parkour course, you get that moment of rest, but oh no, there's stalactites falling from the ceiling. And you can see as well the stalagmites from the ground. They are if you fall on those, they actually do cause damage. So that's really good for kind of mob grinders. If you have used mods in the past, you can actually get spikes and put those in the bottom of a mod grinder, which will it's a way of harvesting the drops that are created when a mob falls. So yeah, really useful there again. What I would say I am not so keen on though, just if any of the Minecraft developers ever happen to watch this video, I think some of the there's something wrong with kind of the colour of them. Doesn't quite match the biome around it. You can see like the whiteness of them there. They kind of stand out. They look a bit, I don't know, that's the join as well, where they join to the rock. They look a bit stuck on. They don't look natural, like they're naturally growing there. I don't know, they look a bit low rendered. I think they could have more, I think they could be a darker colour. They could fit in with the rock around them a bit more. You can see that they're kind of like a pinky colour, where the rock is more kind of like a grey colour. I would prefer them to blend in more, to match more. Perhaps the if we just kind of go back there again, perhaps where because this block at the top here is perhaps a different a bitmap, a different image file to the one at the bottom. Perhaps the one at the bottom could be a bit more shaded to match the colour of the rock around it. But yeah, I don't like how I don't think they look natural. I think they look almost like a sticker stuck on. They don't look like they're part of the natural environment at the moment. And I'm not too keen on the way that they are shaded either. I think they could look more natural. So that bothers me, the aesthetic of them. But the actual, and again, this is, it's in development now. It's not something that's in the game already. They're going to start to add them to the snapshots for people to be able to play and give feedback on. So yeah, things are likely to change a little during the development of these before they become an official release. So yeah, I'm really hoping that they just modify the way they look a little. But the actual function of them as kind of a spike which causes injury, and something that falls down and causes injury, really useful, especially for people who create maps and people who like to create traps and mob grinders. Yeah, so, and again, it's another hazard, something you need to be aware of when you're navigating the world. So that's really cool to me as well. I like that a lot. Okay, here we have a really interesting block. Now, the way it looks is very scary to me. Skull growths. It sounds disgusting, but it's actually, they kind of, they almost accidentally did this. It was kind of a side effect, an unintended purpose. But redstone is kind of like the electricity system in the game. And if I just kind of put that back on for a second as I talk about this. So yeah, redstone is kind of like the electricity system in the game, but what they've created here with these skull sensors is actually a wireless redstone system. At the moment you need like a almost like a string, a trail of redstone to kind of move this current to different blocks, but you can see here that it actually moves between the blocks like wirelessly. You can see there's like a little particle effect. So the way that this works is through vibrations. So if something if you're walking, it will sense the vibrations of your footsteps. It will if another block moves, it will sense that. So it's almost like a sonar or a vibration sensor, if you kind of think of it that way. So when the sensor block notices a movement, a vibration, it sends out those little particles to the other blocks around it, which then respond, and then it works like redstone, so it'll trigger a block next to it. So we can kind of skip ahead a little bit here and kind of show you it in action. So this is really good for people who create traps, triggers in maps that cause almost like a domino effect of events. It's just going to be very useful, specifically for like map makers, people who want to people like redstone creators are going to be really, really excited about this. I'm not the best at redstone. I actually, when I started playing Minecraft and was trying to understand redstone, funnily enough, the tutorial that I stumbled across was James Turner, who's actually a Sims player, and it's really funny to me that James was like the one teaching me redstone. So maybe, I don't know, maybe James can teach me about skull blocks as well. Maybe he'll understand it better than me. Yeah, you can see here it works in a similar way to redstone. It will trigger things, but you can actually use blocks as like sound, I can't say the word, occlusions. They'll block out sound and stop the block from triggering. So you can see here how they've used wool. If I just go back a little bit, they've used this doesn't have any occlusion around it, so you can see the vibration of the piston keeps triggering it, so you've got like a circle effect, where here the wool actually muffles the sound, so the piston doesn't keep triggering. So here it's kind of like keeps triggering itself. It's like a perpetual motion machine, where it keeps triggering the piston, which keeps triggering the block. But here you've cut out the reply from the piston to the skull block, so it doesn't continue to trigger. It's not got that circular effect. However, if you remove the block, it will keep on going. So it's going to be really, really interesting for people to play around with that and see kind of like the things that they can create with it. They are looking for, you can see here they've got another little example here of it kind of sending an effect kind of through, you can send it through the air, so it's not even like linear, it can travel through the air and trigger other blocks and have this kind of domino effect, so it's really interesting. Brandon was saying that they are looking for a lot of feedback on this, so if you are a player who really likes redstone and this kind of feature, they want to really, really get it right. They want to get it spot on for people, so they're looking for a lot of feedback on that one. Okay, I'm a little bit scared. Right here, Brandon is talking about how they've added a new biome called the Deep Dark, which is like the very lowest levels of like when you dig down, it's like at the very lowest levels, and they've tried to recreate, which I love the way you describe this. He said they're trying to recreate that kind of first night feeling of when you first get the game and nighttime happens and you know the mobs are coming, that kind of fear and anticipation. So this is the first time I've watched this. I'm scared. There's a new mob called the warden, and they've used this sound mechanic, this kind of vibration mechanic, where the sounds you make will trigger things in the environment, and the warden actually I'm scared. The warden actually kind of feeds off sound and vibration and movement. So if you creep and don't place anything down, they won't detect you. But if you, like, you can see where they're placing lights and jumping, that actually causes the skull blocks to trigger, which means the warden can sense you. Those candles are really cool. I love that, you know, this would be brilliant in time for like Halloween and like a spooky season, being able to kind of create these spooky places that make you creep. So I guess we're in the warden's lair now. It looks like that's like a treasure room. Again, you could open a chest, he's going to detect you. It's like really scary the way that they keep looking around. Oh my god, there he is. I'm scared. I don't like it. So the reason why he has snowballs is because it detects sound. You can actually distract them by throwing things. So if you're creeping, he's not going to detect you. He's kind of looking our way though. But yeah, you can throw a snowball, he'll hear that and go off in a different direction, so you can actually run away, which I think is a very, very cool feature. Oh no. It's scary. I don't like it. Throw another snowball. Apparently as well, it's like one hit. And I only know this because my son was telling me. It's like if he hits you once, you're probably a goner. So, oh my goodness, back away, throw things. I suppose you could throw an arrow, perhaps. You could throw an arrow, which would cause a sound vibration. He's going to get you. Look at that. He took like, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 hearts off you. So yeah, you two hits and you're a goner. And I think actually they said that they're wearing armor in that, that scene as well. So that is really, really spooky to me. Let's just rewind that and have another look at it. If you are not too afraid, I'm pretty scared. So yeah, I love that idea of like because when you've been playing Minecraft for a long time, you can kind of get a bit overconfident with things. You know, you understand how things work. You're not as scared anymore. I mean, I'm a scaredy cat. I'm always scared in Minecraft. Yeah, I love that they're kind of like bringing in something for kind of more seasoned players, where they've got to navigate the space in a different way. It's very dark. It's causing problems because obviously when it's dark, an instinct is to place lights to light the place up, especially because you don't want other mobs spawning, right? You don't. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe that's a really good tactic, because if other mobs spawn and make noise, then maybe the creature will go after them. I don't know. I would hope so. I would hope that, you know, the noise of a skeleton dropping would cause it to go after that mob, almost like an iron golem. I think that would be really cool. So you could actually have one that kind of protects your base. You know, say you were making like a secret underground base, as long as you know that you have to creep, you know, say you're playing on a map with other players, as long as you know that you have to creep, you could have some of those in your space, and they'd function like an iron golem, where if other players came into your space, the warden would go and attack them, but if you know to creep, and you know, if you've muffled the sound, if you've got like carpet or wool on the ground in your base, you're going to be safe down there, which I think is actually a really cool thing to play with. Yeah, I don't know how many people would have thought of that, but that's like, I'm pretty pleased with myself for that one. So yeah, and as well, like you could have it down in your base and you've got the wool in your base, so you're fine. And if the wardens are outside your base and a creeper comes, you know, perhaps the warden would go and attack the creeper. So I love the idea of it being almost like a scary iron golem. If they could do that and actually have it attack other mobs, I think that would actually make it much more useful as well, beyond the kind of initial purpose as just being something scary for players to discover. Minecraft, please watch this video because I think that's really cool. They've probably thought about that already, you know, considering they're the ones who've been playing with it. Let's go and see what else they have to say. So I've just paused here, but I forgot what I'm saying. Agnes was just saying that they tried to kind of make it both kind of cute and terrifying. You can kind of see up there, warden, cute and terrifying, question mark. And kind of like they considered what the mouth wanted to look like. They kind of wanted it to look a little bit derpy. And here you've got the note saying the vibration stimulates the ears. So it's got kind of like an interesting kind of look to it that's kind of sort of cute, but yeah, literally terrifying. Like, I like this, like if the bunnies encounter it, they're terrified. I hope that's in the game because that looks really funny. Poor bunnies. And I think this is actually, is this the killer rabbit with the red eyes? I don't even know if that's still in the game or not. I would like it to be. But yeah, so Killer Bunny is scared of this, so that's how scary the warden is. Brandon was also just kind of saying that he did have full netherite armor on, which I believe netherite is like stronger than diamond. I've not played massively with the nether update. I really need to get on that. So yeah, I was all over that ocean update, but the nether update, still have to explore that. So yeah, the strongest armor of the game, and it was 2 shots and he was out. So if you don't have an armor on and you find one of these guys, then you know you need to be super duper careful. Yeah, really impressed with that mob. I like it, and I hope I hope it does attack other mobs. It looks like it does. I mean, I don't know what's going on there between him and the killer rabbit. He looks curious more than angry, doesn't he? Okay, so let's keep going. I just kind of wanted to include this this segment. It's near Vaknin, and he's new to the Minecraft team. I'm sorry, I've paused a terrible moment there. But if you just watch the way he's talking and the excitement in his face, the way his eyes are lighting up, the enthusiasm he has for this. He's talking about a non-profit organisation he works with, which involves Minecraft, and my heart, like anything with kids, and I'm like the soppiest person, but I love this. So I'll just let him talk.
How that happened, and not just joining Mojang. I'm not really sure how I'm here in Minecraft Live, because like just last year I was home, glued to the stream. Just I had to know what the next thing is coming to Minecraft, and today it's not only that I get to share that, it's I got to work on some of those things, so it's fairly incredible. But yeah, I've been developing games for a few years now, and more recently I've actually worked with this non-profit organization called Games for Peace, which is an amazing organization which basically uses games to promote peace. Like he takes kids from areas of conflict all around the world and sits them down to play Minecraft, And sometimes it's kids that don't even share a language, so they can't talk. So Minecraft is the language they share. Minecraft is what helps them connect and get to know each other and creates friendships, right? And it was amazing being part of that.
It's so cool.
I love that. I just love the way he talked about it, and I think that's amazing that, especially Minecraft as a game, the things that they do, the programs, Minecraft education, like the different uses that this computer game has in the world, right? And the fact that, I'm going to cry, the fact that they're using a computer game and taking children from conflict zones, taking children who normally would never interact with each other they wouldn't have the opportunity to get to know each other or act in a friendship kind of to develop the friendships. The fact that they are giving them the opportunity to get to know each other through a computer game, which then makes them think, actually, this person is the same as me. They're scared of creepers too. I can help them with their resources. They can help me with my resources. It's us against these mobs. The potential for that. I mean, it's a computer game, and I think as well sometimes the older generation don't understand the gaming world. They don't understand the things, the potential that a computer game has, and I just think that is amazing, really amazing. The games aren't just games; they're also powerful tools that can connect people, right? And also Minecraft, I love that they're doing this thing at the moment where they're including people, they're including fans of the game more, and they're including mod creators more, and I really like that inclusion. It's almost like the Minecraft family, right? Of it's not just the developers creating a game for profit. They are bringing that enthusiasm for the game, the creative ideas into the studio, and actually rewarding people for their passion for the game, which I just think that's really, really cool. Okay, here I'm very excited about this, and I've got thoughts. They're finally adding more ores and gemstones to Minecraft. So here you can see them discovering. I've got it in slow motion. They are going to discover copper. I am so glad that they're finally adding copper to the game. So Agnes was saying that you can find copper veins. Now, we've always kind of had small veins in Minecraft. Of when you find one, you can find more. These kind of like neighbouring blocks of metal. But I think what she was saying is, like, we're going to get massive long veins. So rather than getting a vein of like 5, we're going to get veins of 100 maybe. I don't know what the vein size is. They didn't say. But you can kind of follow these veins now for longer. So I'll just pause quickly while I carry on talking about that. So she's saying that they are trying to encourage almost like a new way of mining. It's kind of one of the kind of the pillars they were talking about, of like what they wanted, how they wanted these updates to kind of change the game for players, how they wanted people to navigate those underground spaces in a different way. So finding these like long veins of ore will encourage you to kind of like follow them throughout the caves in perhaps a different direction than what you would have normally chosen, which will then lead you to other areas where you can discover more things. So you get the copper, and it does have some new uses, which I'll talk about in a minute. The uses that it doesn't seem to have, though. Now, do you know what? At the end, I'm going to kind of talk about how I would like copper and some of the gemstones to be able to function. But let's just have a look at this. So copper, it looks like it's going to be a decorative block. Here she's using it to create roofs because I think she said in Stockholm they do have copper roofs, and these roofs turn green over time, which I will come back to. So it's nice to have a new decorative block. I like that we've got a new metal block. It's kind of like a cheap metal as well, so you're going to find these big veins. It's not going to be like gold where you just find a little bit here and there. So yeah, you can create these kind of roofs with the copper. Let me just find let's just go back to here while I'm talking. So yeah, I like that it's a new decorative block. I'm sorry, Agnes, nobody wants to be in slow motion. There we go. Yeah, so I'm so excited that copper's finally added. Agnes herself has been something. It's been something that she's wanted to have in Minecraft for a long time, so she's excited about it too, because it's something that she's familiar with, these kind of copper roofs, right? It's something that she wanted to recreate from her real life experience in the game. So yeah, I think perhaps they're a little bit too orange, a little bit too light coloured. I think perhaps I'd prefer them to be ever so slightly more burnished looking, perhaps like slightly less bright. Just a personal taste of mine, where I prefer things to be kind of like in slightly darker, more muted tones. It's very orange is what I'm saying. But then if I just pause a second while I find what I want to talk about. Here we go. So here's the time lapse. So Agnes was really passionate about talking about this, the idea of creating a sense of history in the game. So you can see as time passes, the copper blocks start to go a little bit more worn looking, a little bit more burnished, tarnished looking. They start to turn green. I really like the colour of the green actually. Again, it could just be a slightly darker tone for me, but it's nice. I really like this kind of speckled effect that is going on, where it's changing from the bright copper to the more green oxidized copper colour. You can see it does take a number of days for it to go fully green. So Agnes was saying that she likes the idea of, like, if you are in a world with other players and you stumble across a fully green roof, you know that house has been there for a considerable amount of time, for a number of days. It's not a brand new house. So I like the idea of kind of adding a sense of time passing to the game. I really do like the copper roofs. I like the copper block. I like the way it changes colour. Yeah, I really like the colour of the greeny kind of colour as well. I think that'd be nice to use alongside blocks like I'm just going to pause, alongside blocks like prismarine, those kind of green coloured ocean blocks, the kind of, are they called prismarine lights? I can't remember the name of them now. The kind of underwater light block as well that has that kind of greeny colour. I think that would be really, really nice to do. And also for creating kind of maybe like classical type environments. It's just a really nice shade of green, I think. So yeah, really, really nice decorative block there. Happy with what they have added with copper so far. So this is another use for the copper. You can create these lightning rods with it. So again, I think it's quite inexpensive. You know, when you find copper, you find a lot of it. So what they're saying can happen sometimes in Minecraft is a lightning strike can come in and it can actually just destroy your house basically. It will, if you've built your house out of wood, if you've got a roof made out of wool or wood, anything that's kind of flammable, a lightning strike can already come in. This exists in the game already. A lightning strike can come in, it can set fire to your house, like that poor village over there. You know, lightning could hit it and it could absolutely be ruined. So you can see here the lightning rod. I'd get off that metal quickly. 1 second, sorry. So my son's just come to join me. He said, is this the copper bit? Yes, it is. So some of the functionality that I think I'd quite like here, I would like it if the copper electrified you. If you were standing on copper and the lightning hit, I think that should give you an electric shock. That'd be really, really cool. Again, I'm thinking trolling purposes here. Now, I think, as I understand it, what happens is the lightning strikes the copper rod, and the copper rod takes the hit of the lightning. It actually doesn't transfer to the roofs around it. Now, the functionality that I would like to see with this is that, for trolling purposes, not that I want to troll people, but I think other people who enjoy this sort of thing would find it quite amusing. You know, I love watching Sunday and Craner trolling each other as much as the next person. So I think it'd be really cool to have like the copper rod. If you placed it, you could intentionally attract lightning. So say you were playing in a multiplayer world where trolling was allowed. You could go to one of your neighbours' houses and intentionally place a copper rod on top of their wool or wooden roof to attract the lightning, which would then purposefully set fire to the roof and and troll them and give them a problem to solve. I think that'd be a really interesting use. Or like here, like intentionally placing the copper rod on a copper roof, which then would cause the lightning to hit and for that metal roof to become electrified and zapping people. So I just think that would have a really interesting use. You could also use it if you're diabolical. Perhaps you could place it in water, again electrifying the water, causing anyone or anything in the water to have an electric shock. You could use it for that, like, this is terrible in real life, don't do it in real life, but I know people use electric shocks to catch fish, so perhaps that'd be an interesting thing to do. And again, it'd be a good way of protecting your base, right? If you could electrify the water around it. I just think that would be more useful than it just simply absorbing the lightning and then nothing happening. So ideas there, take them or leave them. Okay, so this was super exciting for me because I've wanted this for so long. They have added crystals, plural. They're saying crystals, plural, to the game. And here they show amethyst. Now, very mixed feelings about this. I'm used to playing with... I've wanted... more metals and more gemstones to be added to the game for the longest time. Amethyst is one of my favourite crystals in real life, so I'm really super excited at first about this. It looks amazing, really excited. However, I feel like there's a bit of copper on the left there. I feel like I would like more purpose for the crystals and for the metals, because I'm just kind of oh no, I think this carries on going a little bit longer. I am used to playing with mods like Biomes of Plenty, mods that add more crystal tools. What was the other one that I used to play all the time? Allspawn, which added, crystal swords, crystal pickaxes, things like this, and I love them, really love them. Actually, from Allspawn, they have an emerald set of tools, which actually... when you kill a mob with an emerald sword, it drops experience, which I thought was amazing. I thought that was really cool. So I would love to be able to use crystals and copper to make tools. Copper tools in most mods are very weak. They're kind of like gold, but I think that'd be cool to have something like gold, where it's cheap. You can make it quickly, but it doesn't have much purpose beyond that. I just like the option. But what I'd really like, sort of my idea for copper and gemstones, what I would really like to see from them is, I'll just sort of pause it there. I would really like to be able to decorate tools with them in a similar way to if you've ever played with Tinker's Construct. You can create, say, an iron sword, but then perhaps you'd be able to decorate the hilt with amethyst, which would then imbue that tool with some sort of special ability, whether it makes it the wearability of it go down so it lasts longer, whether it creates more experience when you kill something with it, whether it makes it stronger, more durable. Now I've sort of already said that one, I just keep saying the same one all the time, but I'm sure there's like lots of ideas, especially with like Tinker's Construct. There's so many different variables that you can put on your tools. It's such a cool mod. So I would love it if you could take, like, for example, that diamond pickaxe that they're using there, and have some sort of object, like for example, like the objects like the cartography table or the anvil, which allows you to edit an object, and then kind of add crystal to it. Like you could have like I don't know, to be able to add some sort of decorative hilt with the various metals that you have in the game and with the new gemstones, which then gives it kind of increased ability, because then you could customize your tools. It's not just like another diamond pickaxe. It's something that is unique to you, that you could decorate it in your favorite colors and your favorite crystals, and you could have like favorite tools, especially if you're playing for a long time. The idea of having like these kind of like master level, king level tools that are really, you've taken the time and the care to customize and get like perfectly balanced. That's like the thing with Tinkers. You get these tools and you think, I've got this tool perfect. If I ever lose this, if I die in lava, I'm going to be distraught. So it's that kind of thing. I really wish they'd add more to it, and there might be more to come with this. I'll sort of skip ahead a little bit here to where they talk about the uses for crystals. I'm hoping that there's more to it than what they've said. Here we go. So let me just there. So if you have copper and crystals, with the crystals you can create lenses which you can use on telescopes. So you can create a telescope which allows you to kind of zoom in. Now, yes, that's amazing, excited for it, but I want more purpose for these beautiful blocks. You know, I really want the crystals to also be decorative blocks, perhaps something slightly translucent like glass blocks, where it can actually change the color of the light, but maybe it'll create crystal patterns, you know, it'll create beautiful light visual effects in your house. I just want crystals to have like more purpose, to be really, really pretty, and yeah, to be able to use in those kind of ways. Now, what they were also kind of saying, if I just go back to these crystals so we can have a look at them as I'm talking, they were saying that I assume these purple blocks are the plant blocks. They were talking about crystal plant blocks. So you get a plant block and then the crystals grow from it. So crystal shards, they said. So I assume these are the crystal shards and this is the crystal plant block. So that you can collect the crystal shards, but you cannot collect the crystal plant blocks. There's no way to do it. Now, I'm not happy with this. The reason that they said they did this is because they want people to explore more, to move away from their home bases more, and to kind of go and have these crystal farms that they have to kind of keep returning to. I understand their reasoning for doing this. However, I do like to be able to farm things. I'm really disappointed that I can't pick up this object, because the purple, this kind of purple block is very, very pretty. I think people would want to create a house out of it. They would want to be able to use this to decorate the bases. So I would strongly prefer for them to have something like Silk Touch, or perhaps again some sort of brand new craftable, like some craftable item. Perhaps you use the crystals on a Silk Touch, you know, perhaps you customize a pickaxe with a rare crystal. As I was saying, you could decorate the hilt with it, which then allows you to be able to pick up these immovable blocks. So it'd be perhaps very, very rare, very, very difficult to get in the game, but it would give you the option to move the blocks. Perhaps it could even allow you to move spawners. I think that'd be something that people would love to be able to do, personally. So, you know, it's a shame that we don't have that functionality, I think. But yeah, I think people, you know, if you look at people like Lizzie, who she creates these very kind of like princessy looking houses. I think players like that would love to have this block as a decorative block. It is quite pretty. It kind of looks like mushrooms, though. It's quite strange. Yeah, I would like to be able to collect the block. I was really disappointed when they said that you couldn't, and I really, really, really wish that there was more. Oh, actually, I'll just put the sound on for a second so you can hear. It kind of makes these little fairy noises as well. So again, I could see so much decorating potential, so much potential for like map making, or you know, if you were in survival mode, so you couldn't access creative mode, but you wanted to create some kind of, I don't know, like some kind of fantasy place for your friends to come and visit. I think that you know, perhaps you want to make a crystal tea party or something, I don't know, you know, for your friends on the server to come and have a look at and kind of go, oh, this is really fun, this is really exciting. I don't know, I'm disappointed that you can't move the blocks, hugely disappointed, and I would really, really like more purpose for the crystals than making a telescope with them. If that's all you can do with it, like you get this beautiful cave system with these beautiful crystals, and I've wanted crystals for so long, if all you can do with it is create a telescope, I'm going to be ridiculously disappointed, Minecraft, ridiculously disappointed. I would like a lot more purpose for the crystals and the copper, please. Okay, so here they're talking about a new item called the bundle, which works very similar to backpacks. If you've ever used the backpack mod, which is a super duper popular mod, anything that kind of adds more storage space. So this is solving an inventory problem where you get, perhaps you're collecting something for a build, you want to be able to kind of carry more stuff in this backpack. And they were sort of saying here with like the flowers, say you were out gathering resources, but you just want 2 flowers, like 2 of each flower. That takes up a lot of inventory space, where now you can actually bundle up all those flowers into one bag, into one slot in your inventory space. So it's creating a storage solution, which is really, really useful. I'm just kind of replay that on slow motion. Yeah, so I think very excited about this as somebody who uses the backpack mods, and anything with those kind of storage system, carryable storage system functionality is really good. And you can see here as well, you can use it as a gift. You know, you can put together a little gift package for a friend and give it to them. Now, an idea I have for this, I think something that would be really, really lovely to be able to do with the bundles, would be able to use the dye on them. In the same way that you can dye leather, I think it'd be really nice if you could dye the bundles in you know, the player's favourite colour. Say your friend's favourite colour is pink. You could use the dye from the flowers to create a little pink bundle. You could also colour coordinate the bundles so that you could remember what was in each one. So perhaps like all wooden blocks are red, all metal blocks are yellow, so you could actually remember what's in each bundle. It would help you with your organising system. So yeah, if we could dye those bundles, that would be amazing. A concern that I have over the bundles is that it may kind of render blocks like the shulker box a little more obsolete. So a shulker box is very, very difficult to get. You have to play through a lot of the game to be able to get to the end, find an end city, defeat the kind of things that are trying to kill you and float you off into space, in order to get these shulker shells, which create the shulker box, which is like a storage box, but you can carry it around with you. Again, I think you can dye the shulker boxes different colours, so that is definitely something I want from the bundle. I do worry about that, but what I'm thinking as I kind of look at this bundle is I think there may be some kind of limit to how much you can put in a bundle. I think it actually may still only be 64 blocks inside the bundle, so I don't think you can put, like, if we kind of go back to when they were putting the wood in, I think they put, is it 2 stacks of 32? Yeah, so I think there is, I mean, they don't say this, I don't think, as they're discussing it, but I think there is a 64 block limit on there, and you can see underneath as well they put 32 grass blocks and 32 iron blocks in the bundle. So it's not that you can have like a full inventory of sand and put all the sand into one bundle, but if you have, for example, the flowers there, if you have a lot of things in your inventory but you only have 1 or 2 of them, that's how this will save you the inventory space, because like with those flowers, you can kind of stack them all into one slot instead of them taking up 10 inventory slots. So there is a difference there between the bundle and the shulker boxes, because the shulker box is more like a chest that you can carry with you, so you can put a lot of stuff in the shulker box. So yeah, I think they've probably got quite a good balance there with that. And Neil was kind of talking about how he's got all these ideas for how people could use this. So you can you can gift people a little bag of goodies, or you could create a shop and kind of have like a bundle of the day, what's it going to be, surprise bundles, all this kind of thing. So yeah, I like the bundles. I think they're really, really useful. I probably do just think that being able to dye them would give them that extra special gifting potential there. Okay, I love this. I absolutely love this. They're adding archaeology to the game, so you can come across these excavation sites, right, where you get one of these little brushes, like this is all set up. This is something you can discover as you go around your game. You just stumble across these. Now I assume that these aren't normal dirt blocks. I don't think you could use this brush on any dirt or gravel block around the world. I think these are probably special ones that are placed specifically in these archaeological sites, but you can see how it has this animation effect of like brushing away the block, which is really nice. It reminds me of mods such as ex nihilo, where you can sieve these kind of blocks and it will give you like objects. Now you saw there where they kind of brushed too fast and actually destroyed the object, so you have to brush quite slowly and carefully, and I love that idea as well. It makes you feel like you're being a real archaeologist. And then you get kind of like these artifacts, so you get these shards, or you could get like gemstones, jewels, and you can use it on different types of blocks. So they've used it on a gravel block, they're using it on a dirt block here. She tried to use it on a, she or he, I don't know who's playing, or they used it on an obsidian block there, and it didn't work. So it's only on certain blocks you can do this on, which I assume are certain blocks, kind of only like special dirt or gravel blocks, maybe sand as well potentially. Yeah, so it gives you these different things. Now what you can do with these things is actually analyze them. So you can see here someone's kind of set up this little space where they can kind of compare the different things that they've been finding. They were talking about you can kind of create your own stories with this as well. So you can kind of create your own narrative history of the world, of your world. Now you also have these like clay pots that you can, I assume you craft the clay pots, and then you can actually put these little shards in any combination you like. You can try and guess that the way that the like a jigsaw puzzle, the way that they were set up, or you can kind of create your own story with it, and then you can actually fire these clay pots to kind of permanently cement that story as part of the narrative history of your world, which I think is really cool. So you're not only getting a really cool new decorative block, but you're also getting the ability to tell a story of the history of your world, which I think is very, very, very cool. I'm going to rewind that there because that is the kind of end of that little section. And it just kind of ties in as well to kind of what they were saying about giving the world more of a sense of history. So like with the copper roofs where they kind of change colour over time, this also gives you a sense of like the world having some sort of history, some kind of lore to it, which I love. More lore, always love a bit of lore. I really love archaeology, you know, like I'm a Sims player, and kind of like world adventures and jungle adventures where you have these kind of archaeology systems. I love it, absolutely love it, right up my alley. Any kind of Indiana Jones type gameplay, Tomb Raider type gameplay, love it. Yeah, so this is, I think this is really cool. This is definitely a favourite feature for me. I really like this kind of layers of potential with it as well, like the layer of potential for having you know, these items that you could build a museum around, or just having more decorative blocks as well with that clay tool. I love the ability that you can customize the pots to tell your own stories. So yeah, this feature is like a 10 out of 10. Love this feature. For me, it'd be nice as well if you could uncover your own archaeology sites, like maybe there's some sort of a clue, some sort of a marker, similar to how the azalea trees tell you where those underground biomes are, which tells you kind of like a dig here sign. Yeah, maybe some sort of evidence where you can set up your own archaeology site. And I wonder if there's a difference between the blocks as well. So perhaps you use your brush on perhaps you could use your brush on any dirt block around the world, and there is a potential to find ones that you can use to uncover artifacts, but perhaps you'd use it on a normal dirt block and nothing would happen, so you could just mine those blocks as usual. It'd be nice if there was a way to know, kind of, I don't know, it'd be nice if you could use them anywhere beyond the archaeology thing, but it's kind of random, perhaps a rare chance of finding it. Yeah, I don't know, that's really cool to me. Like hidden archaeology sites is what I'm thinking. So you could discover your own, rather than these ones that are kind of already discovered. So here we have the absolutely adorable little concept art of the axolotl. So the axolotl is this, well, it's actually the third new mob that they're adding with this update, because they're also adding goats. So we had the warden, that scary one that lived down deep in the bottom of the caves. And then this axolotl you actually find in these kind of like lush underground biomes. Now, what I like about this, the way Agnes was kind of talking about this was that it's actually an endangered species. This is a real life animal, and they like the idea of adding these kind of endangered species to the game, because children might not be aware that they exist, or people, players, adults who play like me. it kind of raises awareness about this very special, unique, endangered animal, and perhaps makes people care more about it, which I think is a really, really lovely idea. So you can actually see, if I kind of move this around, my son has come to see the axolotl. What do you think of the axolotls? He's giving me 2 enthusiastic thumbs up there. He doesn't really want to talk on camera. So I'm just going to pause while I find the footage. So here we go. Here's the footage. You can see it's found in one of these lush cave biomes, and down in the water these little axolotls can be found. Now you can actually pick them up with a bucket. They don't injure the player. They're kind of a neutral mob in that they don't attack players, but they do attack other creatures. So they'll attack fish. So again, if you want a way to fish, the axolotls.
I feel like there's only one sound I can make after seeing that.
Much noise, many wow. I keep forgetting to mute. And they'll attack other things as well. So I'm just going to mute for this bit. If you collect a lot of these with a bucket, and then you can actually release them underwater as you kind of go on your underwater adventures, they'll defend you because they'll attack drowned and they'll attack other hostile mobs, which again is really cool, really useful for attacking things like the Guardian. You can see here that they attack the Guardian. They can actually also heal the player as kind of another bonus feature. They were also saying, if I just kind of rewind that and get that on slow motion, they were also saying that they sorry, I can't do 2 things at once. They also they play dead. So the interesting thing about this is that they will take a hit and they'll play dead, and then the hostile mob will leave them alone. So that gives them a chance to heal up and continue fighting, which again I think is brilliant because it just means they're going to survive that little bit longer, right? You don't want all your axolotls to immediately die to the Guardian. But I love this. It's kind of something I would have loved to have had from the dolphins as well. Like the dolphins do kind of follow your boat and keep you company, but it would have been really nice to have an army of dolphins. So I'm glad that we can at least have an army of axolotls. Don't you agree, Joe? Yeah, he's nodding. Yeah, so I love this. I love friendly mobs. I love that it'll I need all the help I can get against drowns. If you've watched my recent videos, there was a war waged with the drowns there for a while. So I need all the help that I can get. So I love that you can spawn these, and they'll kind of protect you as you travel through the water. I would use them in the water around my base to kind of keep away those hostile mobs, because the drowns do keep spawning around my base. I wonder about how they are called. So I wonder if once you collect it in a bucket and you spawn it intentionally, if they stay and they don't kind of disappear over time. I hope that they remain in the world. Perhaps you have to name them. I don't know how it works, but yeah, I really like the axolotls. Yeah, 2 enthusiastic thumbs up there. Okay, so here they're talking about goats. Goats was kind of like part of last year's vote. People voted for the mountains to have an update. So they've updated mountain terrain generation. You can see here goats are somewhat aggressive. They just completely rammed that poor cow off the cliff there. To try and get back to there. So yeah, oh no, it's all going horribly wrong. There we go. I've slowed it down so we can have a look at them and talk about them. They can jump really, really high. They are quite hostile. So you saw how they kind of yeeted that cow off the cliff there. They can also yeet players, I believe. There's one jumping really, really high there as well. So yeah, they do spawn on mountainsides. I don't know if they have any other purpose. They kind of haven't gone into that from what I can tell. I do have to kind of like gather a bit more info on this. But yeah, I love how he jumps across that kind of that ravine there as well. So yeah, another interesting mob added to the game there. You can see here how he just absolutely rams that cow off the cliff. So it's kind of like, this is our biome, get out. Which is quite nice actually, because I do like how biomes have their own kind of unique mobs on them. So it's nice that kind of the goats rule the roost there a little bit. Here's my cat coming to have a little chat. So they were also talking about one of the kind of new blocks as part of the mountain update. I'm sorry, she's so noisy. Is a kind of what did they call it? A dry snow, a dusty snow block. I can't remember the proper name of it. But basically, this block, you will fall through it if you stand on it. It looks like a normal stone. Why can't I find where he's talking about it? Come on, let's find the right footage there. I've done it again. I give up. I give up. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, if you stand on this powdered snow, that's what it's called. If you stand on this powdered snow block, it looks like an ordinary block, but you will fall through it. So it's a great trap block, and it's something to kind of be aware of as you kind of go through these snowy mountain areas. So the final mob that's going to get added with this update is the glow squid. Now, people voted on a choice of 3 mobs that could have been added to the game. One was, I think it was called like a moo bloom, which is like a cow which had flowers growing on its back in a similar way to the mushroom. There was also an Axolotl, who was a hostile mob similar to the illagers who lived on icy mountains. People have voted for the glow squid. So it's an underwater mob similar to the squids. Can hypnotize people, it looks like. You can see kind of their eyes kind of shining there. They're getting distracted by this glow squid. So I don't think we really know any more than that about it. We don't really know much details about kind of the potential features of this, other than it somewhat hypnotizes players, possibly other mobs as well. We'll have to see, and perhaps it perhaps kind of stuns you, perhaps makes you move slowly, possibly makes you drown. I hope there's something that you can put on, maybe some kind of special hat or goggles that will stop you getting distracted by this squid. I wonder if the what are they called, Joe? Axolotls. Good thing he's here to remind me. Hopefully the axolotls will attack these and save you and stop you from getting stunned and drowning. So yeah, that's the update. Really excited about it. Really hoping that there's more to crystals and copper than. Yeah, they're not adding that though. People voted for the glow squid. So that's the one that's getting added. Maybe they're adding all of them and they're just going to add the glow squid first. I'm not sure.
Dude, it's from Minecraft Dungeons.
So is he your favourite? Is he the one that you would have voted for? Yeah. I think I would have voted for the cow. So this is the update. I hope you have enjoyed me having a bit of a look at it, let me know what you're excited for. If you've got any other ideas of what they could do with kind of the crystals, that would be very cool. And I will see you guys next time, and hopefully one day play with these new features as the kind of snapshots and updates come through. Alright guys, take care, bye bye.
You want the moo bloom, don't you?
Yeah, the moo bloom.
I do want the ice TV.
You do?
Because in Minecraft Dungeons, the DLC What We've Not Caught.
Yeah.
Which I'm really mad about.
Mm.
That dude's in it, and